Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, and a very good morning to all of you, my dear followers, subscribers, students, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. In this video, I'm going to explain games of commitment, and here I am presenting the case of the frog and the scorpion game. In this lecture, our attention will be to the games where there are sequential moves. An important strategic issue that arises in such games is commitment. We may note that this committed choice in such games must be both irreversible and observable by the other players. What does it mean? What does irreversibility and observability in the games of commitment mean? Irreversibility is part of what it means to be committed, while observability is crucial if the other player is going to be persuaded to change their behavior. So we take an example of the frog and the scorpion game, and we begin with the fable of the frog and the scorpion. Let us suppose both the frog and the scorpion were standing on the bank of the river, and they were trying to figure out how to go way across, how to cross the river. The scorpion said, "I know. I'll climb on your back, and you can swim across the river so that we could both cross the river." But the frog said, "What if you sting with me with your stinger?" The scorpion said, "Why would I do that? Because if I sting you on your back, then we would both die, and we will drown." The frog found this convincing, so she let the scorpion climb on his back, and they started across the river. However, at the deepest point, halfway across, the scorpion stung the frog on his back. Being in severe pain, the frog cried out, "Why did you do that? Now we are both doomed. We are both going to drown." The scorpion said, "Alas, as he sank into the river, it is my nature." So he was compelled by its nature. Now let us look at the frog and the scorpion game from the viewpoint of the game theory, and that we may understand how games of commitment work. The below figure shows a sequential game with payoffs consistent with the story. If we start at the bottom of the game tree, if the frog refuses the scorpion, both get nothing because they will not cross the river, and they don't get any utility because both of them want to cross the river. Looking up one line, we see that if the frog carries the scorpion, he receives utility equal to 5 for doing a good deed, and the scorpion receives a payoff of 3 for getting across the river. So if the game is like this, if the frog chooses to carry and they move like this, that is, the scorpion refrain from stinging, then both of them can go across the river, and the payoffs of the frog is 5 and that of the scorpion is 3. In the line where the frog is stung, that is along this line, frog receives a payoff of -10 because it will realize severe pain, and the scorpion gets a payoff 5, which represents the satisfaction from fulfilling his natural instincts. So if the frog agrees to carry scorpion on its back, but halfway across the scorpion stings the frog on his back, then in that case the scorpion still receives payoff of 5, but the frog payoff is -10. It is best to start with the final move of the game. The scorpion's choice of sting or refrain. Sticking has a high payoff to the scorpion because it is his natural it is his nature to sting. So his payoff is higher, but that of the frog is -10. Hence, the frog should rationally choose to refuse to carry the scorpion. Unfortunately, the frog did not understand the scorpion's payoffs. Apparently, he thought that the scorpion's payoffs looked something like those in the next figure. But this mistake was fatal for the frog. A smart frog would figure out some way to make the scorpion commit to not stinging. He could do so, for example, to tie his tail, or he could hire a hit frog who would retaliate against the scorpion's family. Whatever the strategy, the critical thing for the frog to do is to change the payoffs to the scorpion by making stinking more costly or refraining more rewarding. So this is a game of commitment in which the frog couldn't understand the payoffs of the scorpion. So I hope this was informative and useful for you. Kindly subscribe to the channel and don't forget to click on the bell icon so that you can regularly get notification about my other videos that I'll upload for you. Thanks for watching this video. Kindly subscribe to this channel and share its various videos in various WhatsApp groups, and also share this channel and various videos with your colleagues, with your friends, with your students, so they